Welcome to the moment. They assumed time itself would finish the job for them. Welcome to December, the month they spoke about like a verdict. Like erosion. Like a quiet eraser meant to rub you out, without ever touching you directly. They believed this was when you would thin out. When exhaustion would finally catch you. When silence would press harder. When pressure plus time would succeed. Where resistance failed. That was the miscalculation. Because December didn't weaken you. It revealed you while they expected you to slow down. Something else occurred. You became quieter, not hollow, but precise. Not scattered, but contained. You didn't rush to prove continuity. You didn't announce survival. You didn't reassure anyone watching. You stayed steady. And steadiness in a month like this is disruptive. December strips things bare. Distractions, thin noise, loses authority. Pretenses become heavier to carry. People sit alone with thoughts they've been out running all year. While others managed appearances, you managed alignment. That difference mattered. They assumed your strength came from momentum, from motion, from external fuel. They thought slowing seasons break people like you. They never understood you were never powered by speed. You were powered by integration. As the environment grew heavier, you didn't collapse. You settled. You moved with the weight instead of resisting it. And that's when it became obvious. What they mistook for fragility was actually containment. You weren't losing energy. You were compressing it. Exposure didn't arrive loudly. It arrived subtly. People began noticing contradictions. Those who preached resilience but panicked in stillness. Those who spoke of control, yet unraveled without motion. Those who assumed you would fracture because they knew they would. December didn't expose you. It exposed who relied on seasons to do their dirty work. You felt the shift first. Confidence turning brittle. Certainty becoming defensive. Conversations about you changing from dismissal to monitoring. They started checking if you were still standing. And that told you everything. If December were finishing you, they wouldn't need to look. You didn't dramatize endurance. You didn't rebrand for the season. You let the month pass through you, the way winter passes through something, rooted quietly, inevitably. While they waited for decline, they missed something else, forming their own fractures. Their impatience, their dependency on outcomes. Their need for the year to validate them before it closed. You had no urgency. You weren't negotiating with time. You weren't afraid of endings, because you weren't ending. You were settling deeper. December forces truth upward. What remains either holds or it doesn't. You held without explanation. Without resistance, without performance. They expected leakage, fatigue, doubt, frustration. Instead, they saw restraint, timing. Silence that didn't collapse. Presence that didn't beg. They couldn't read it. Because they were projecting their limits onto you. They thought quiet would swallow you. It became your territory. They thought isolation would shrink you. It refined you. They thought reduced attention would weaken you. It clarified you. December removed excess ant. What remained was undeniable without announcement. The narrative flipped. Wait until December became nothing at all. You didn't defeat anyone. You outlasted illusions. Exposure doesn't come from confrontation. It comes from contrast. From watching someone move through conditions that break others unchanged. You didn't harden, you didn't weaponize endurance. You stayed aligned. And alignment doesn't crack under seasonal pressure. As December entered its final stretch, the silence changed, not neglect. Dash awareness. They thought this month would close your chapter. It closed their assumptions. And what December reveals doesn't disappear when calendars turn. Exposure doesn't reset the expected time to drain you. Instead, it flipped pressure back onto them. They rushed. You slowed, they spoke louder. You spoke less. Urgency met deliberation, and urgency exposed itself. You noticed loops in conversation. Anxieties disguised as plans. People trying to outrun the year. You weren't saving anything. You weren't clinging to momentum. You weren't afraid of stillness. Your calm stopped looking passive. It looked anchored. Consistency in a thinning environment is louder than noise. They noticed how you left things unfinished, without anxiety. How you didn't treat December like judgment. How you weren't frantic that unsettled them. Because anyone calm and dissental forces others to confront why they aren't. You weren't avoiding reflection. You were past panic. They realized their assumptions were projections. They assumed you ran on recognition. You were self-sustaining. Silence didn't isolate you. Pressure didn't turn into doubt. December didn't strip you to nothing. It stripped you to what mattered and held. Your name shifted from prediction to question, from dismissal to reassessment. December tests authenticity. Stillness reveals structure. Your clarity sharpened, your boundaries cleaned. Your timing tightened, you didn't react to the season. You let it refine you, others coped. You aligned, they thought slowing meant weakness. You understood it as precision. Their energy frayed. Yours consolidated. You let the month prove something for you. Rooted people don't collapse in winter. They deepen, they prepare quietly. December didn't show breakdown. It showed composure. Not retreaters, not ending continuity. They assumed time would work for them. Time doesn't pick sides, it exposes foundations. Pressure slid off you because there was nowhere for it to land. You finished the year aligned. Not frantic alignment compounds. Now, they hesitate around you. They measure words, they pause. Destabilization no longer works. Pressure tests gently now. You didn't outlast December by force. And honesty reorganizes everything. You didn't survive December. You used it to refine, to simplify, to shed that you stepped forward clearer. Not lighter, because you know what holds when things get hard. They mistook quiet for weakness. December corrected that with contrast. If a season built to exhaust couldn't break your rhythm, nothing they waited on ever will. They didn't lose because you fought. They were exposed because you didn't bend. An exposure doesn't fade. Time can no longer be used against you. December did its work not on you, but around you. The world feels clearer now because once time reveals who you are, it can never doubt you again.